So this is Cooking with Dilo, Cooking Panda. Thanksgiving, we're gonna prep the turkey. So we are going to brine the turkey. So what I've gotten here is, I've just got a pack of Compliments organic poultry mix, which is your sage, thyme, rosemary, you know, all that. I've got one chopped up white yellow onion. I've got 2 navel oranges quartered and kind of squeezed out all that. I've got like 5 or 6 bay leaves. I'm gonna put in a small, I don't know, like I'd say about 2 teaspoons of whole peppercorns, and then I'm probably gonna do approximately about 1 cup of brown sugar and about 3/4 cup of kosher salt or coarse salt. And I'm gonna see what I'm gonna do is I'm only gonna do about half full with water, or actually probably 1/3 with water. I'm gonna boil it. We're gonna put the turkey in after it cools, like tomorrow morning. We want to brine it for, I would say, a good at least 24 hours. I tend to go with at least 36 to get the best flavor and keep the turkey moist. So you put the turkey in there, take the giblets out, the neck and everything, and just top it with cold water until the bird is basically submerged. I've filled it probably about 1/3 or halfway full in the stock pot here. Just gonna bring it to a boil, make sure everything dissolves, and I can let this sit overnight. And in the morning, I'm gonna put my turkey in, like I said, remove the giblets and the neck, and I'm gonna put in the turkey, and I'm gonna then top it with more cold water till the bird is fully submerged, and then that's gonna sit in your fridge for at least 24 hours. But you know, 36, 48 hours, you're gonna have a really yummy turkey. So here we have the turkey that's been brined for about 48 hours. Just brought it up to room temperature a few hours before it goes in the oven, just to bring it up. So I discarded all the water, just left it in the pot there. I got a little mirepoix here, celery, carrot, and onions. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna chop up the turkey neck, the giblets. I'm gonna saute them in a stock pot. Add my mirepoix, a little bit of white wine, and from there, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a little turkey neck stock for probably about an hour. For the turkey in the roasting pan and stuffed inside, I've got some onions, some celery, some carrot underneath there. I'm gonna put 1 or 2 navel oranges and poultry seasoning, like a poultry aromatics. And also I'm gonna make a sage compound butter to kind of stuff underneath the skin, and it's gonna basically melt into the meat as it cooks. So I'll see a little bit. What I've done now is I've browned off the turkey giblets, and I've got some mirepoix and the turkey neck. You can see it's nice and brown. Add my mirepoix, gonna sweat that off a little bit. I'm gonna add some white wine, deglaze the pan, and then I'm just gonna cover the vegetables and the turkey bits here with a little bit of chicken broth here, but also I'm gonna just use some cold water. I'm gonna bring that to a boil, and I'm gonna let that simmer for about an hour. And that's how we get the basics for the broth for the neck meat giblet gravy I make. So what I have here is I've got some chiffonade of sage and some coarse kosher salt and some fresh ground black pepper. I'm gonna put in some lemon juice and some lemon zest, and then I'm gonna beat it together with some unsalted butter or salted, whatever you have, and I can create a compound butter that I'm gonna kind of stuff right underneath the turkey skin. So most importantly is you always want to clean while you work, especially when you are dealing with raw poultry and turkey and whatnot. So make sure all your surfaces are clean relatively. So like I said, I've had the turkey brined I've had mine brined for about almost 48 hours. As you can see right here, here's my compound butter where I'm gonna stuff underneath the skin. I've got sage, I have some green onion in there, lemon zest, lemon juice, salt, and kosher salt, and fresh cracked pepper. Now what you want to do is you want to rinse the turkey. So here she is. This turkey is about 13 pounds. So cold water, just rinse her off. It's very important. And you can see inside, so like I said, I'm rinsing her off. There's a cavity there. Make sure it's all good there. You want to rinse off any extra salt and or the sugar that's in there. So just rinsing it off, making sure all the herbs and everything come off. And you can just see over here, that was the brine. So like I said, navel oranges, I got some poultry seasoning, onion, peppercorns, and I had some salt and some brown sugar there. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna rinse them off, and I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna show you what I'm using for when I'm gonna stuff the cavity. I don't do the stuffing inside the cavity. So what I have here is I've got some sage. I'm gonna cut up about 1 navel orange, and I'm gonna kind of just stuff the orange inside along with celery, carrot, onion, and also just from compliments, it's a poultry mix. I'm gonna stuff that in the cavity, and whatever else is in there, I'm gonna put at the bottom of the roasting pan and preset your oven at 325. And most importantly is pat it dry, and then I'm gonna show you later on, I'm gonna use a spoon to loosen up the skin around the turkey and on the breast. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stuff that compound butter in there. See in a little bit. So what I've got in here is I've stuffed it with a poultry mix. I've got half of my navel orange, which I've cut into 8s, and I've got half. I got like so four 8s in there. I've left some sage there on the outside, and I'm just gonna lift this up. I'm gonna put the rest of the roasting vegetables in the bottom of the pan here, and that's gonna help create some aromatics when it's roasting. So put those all underneath there. Don't need to oil it or anything, because there's gonna be a lot of fat coming from the turkey and from the compound butter there that I've created here. So now that I've done that, let me just get to the compound butter. Like I said, this is the cool part. This is the fun part. So we wanna season the turkey. Okay, we're gonna salt and pepper it. We're gonna tuck in the wings, which I've done. We're gonna wrap them in tin foil. But once that's stuffed here, we're gonna use your finger and just create little pockets in the turkey here, okay? You wanna make sure you don't break the skin, because that's where there's a little membrane in between the skin and the meat. I wanna keep that membrane intact, okay? And here's the cool thing, is because like I said, I'm just loosening up the skin here. It's very important to do, don't break the skin, but I'm gonna stuff that compound butter in there. So, William, can you pass me that spoon, the little one? Thank you. So we're gonna take pats of the butter here, and you push it there, and just gonna squeeze it to the back there. Make sure it's all under the skin. You see what I'm doing here? I'm massaging it to the front. And this is like a sage, like I said, this is the sage lemon zest compound butter with salt and the pepper. And this is gonna help flavor the turkey as it cooks. So it's gonna self-baste by doing this. So you can see right here, I'm just pushing all the turkey around, all the skin. I wanna make sure that I've got butter everywhere. And what's really important is down here in the cavity, kind of like the armpit of it, near the I guess near the drumstick there. And you can see right here, can you see? The compound butter is actually all in there now. So I can go into the front where the neck is and put some more up there. And I'll show you. So you're gonna just get under there. And you gotta make a pocket with your finger. There you are. You see that? What I've done there. And just gonna break that membrane where the skin is. Right under there. You see that right there? And that's where we're gonna stuff the butter. And continue doing this. I used about half a pound of butter here. Again, that was salt and pepper, sage, some aromatics. It's very important. This is gonna make your turkey really juicy from the inside and out, and that's what the brining is really gonna do. The brining is gonna help with keeping it juicy and tender and tasty. All right, and then I'll see you once I come back, and I'm gonna season the rest of the turkey. A little bit of salt. We're not gonna over salt the outside. And the reason why we're not doing that is we've brined it. We don't want the pan drippings to be super salty. All right? So, like I said, easy on the salt. We're gonna pepper it. We're gonna season it. You may wanna just rub some oil or whatnot on, or butter on the outside of the chicken, or the turkey. You can do that. And we're gonna wrap the wings. Again, we've preheated our oven to roast at 325, and then we're gonna go in there for 1 hour at first, breast side down, and then we'll flip it afterwards. All right, happy Thanksgiving. Well, happy Canadian Thanksgiving. Coming back to Cooking with Dilo, and here we've got our turkey done. So I've covered the wings, I've tucked them, covered them in tin foil. You see at the very bottom, I've got my roasting vegetable with the remaining navel oranges, the mirepoix there. I've stuffed the cavity again with the mirepoix, the navel oranges, the poultry seasoning mix. What I've done is the compound butter is set underneath the skin, and that's gonna help baste it as it bakes. I've peppered the outside, a little bit of salt, not too much, because remember we brined this, so it's gonna be quite salty. And as it roasts, the juices are gonna come down, they can evaporate. So I've got my oven set at 325 to roast. I've got it at about middle height, and I'm gonna put in the turkey now for about 1 hour, breast side down. So here's the neck giblet broth. So I'm gonna extract all the pieces of meat out into a separate bowl, and then we're gonna pick all the meat off the turkey bones here. Use a fork and you take the meat out, and we're gonna chop that all up and put into our pan gravy later on. And this right here, this broth is gonna be used for our gravy, but along with this is I'm fortifying it with other chicken broth, and we're gonna use this to baste the turkey. After the first hour, we're gonna use it to baste every half hour, all right? So our turkey is about 13 pounds. So we're looking at about between 3.5 hours in the oven at 325 roasting. So once we get all the meat out here, which I'm doing, we're gonna strain off the aromatics. And the reason why I do that is I have whole peppercorns in here, and we don't really want the vegetables, right? You can keep them for the pan gravy, but the most important thing is we want to get the peppercorns out. We don't want anybody biting into those. So that's all done there. So now we got a strainer on top of a smaller stock pot, and we're just gonna strain this out. Quite easy. All right, I'll show you what I do later on when I pick the meat off. Hey, welcome back to Cooking with Dilo. So what I've done just now is I've basted the back with some of the chicken stock, like the turkey giblet stock, and in here I just have took some white wine, boiled it, added some chicken stock out of the box to it, and I'm gonna use that to baste. Add a little bit of white wine and chicken stock to the base as well. It'll help steam from the bottom. So I flipped it over, now with breast side up. I'm gonna now roast this. And this is the good stuff right here. So what you want to do is you want to use the fat that's in there already at the bottom of the pan. We're going to use that to baste this turkey now. And as we cook this, the juice at the bottom of the pan here has your carrot, your mirepoix in there, so it's going to be really delectable. And it's going to impart a lot of flavor into this turkey. So I'm just basting it, making sure that everything gets a little bit of love of the turkey juice. And I'm gonna put it in, and I'm gonna bring it out almost every 40 minutes to do a basting. And you can see right here, I can see the compound butter is melting nicely in there, and the sage is there, so it's gonna impart a lot of flavor. So again, we'll check on this in about 40 minutes. See you in a bit.